What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another mock draft for the WeSportin podcast. And today we're going to kind of break down our second opinion on the mock draft before the draft happens on Thursday. And obviously, some things shaken up with the Giants trading away Dexter Lawrence to the Cincinnati Bengals for a first round pick for the 10th overall pick. Giants now having 2 picks in the top 10. Obviously, initial thoughts on my side. I think the Bengals. I don't know if this was a shot of desperation or if this was like we really don't know who's going to be there at 10. We're just going to take the thought of let's just bank on actually getting someone who's already proven who can be elite in the trenches and whatnot, and just get them now than having to prey on somebody and keep our window maximized as possible. Or I don't know what they did, but they signed him to a 1-year, $28 million deal. The New York Giants now will have 2 picks in the first round, 2 picks in the top 10. Does anyone have any initial thoughts on that before moving on?
Chris, you want to go?
I mean, just like you said, obviously we are Commanders fans. I'm not happy with it due to the Giants being gifted 2 top 10 players, and more importantly, players that want to be there. Dexter Lawrence did not want to be there anymore. Mm-hmm. I think that the Bengals are kind of grasping at straws here. I think they weren't in a position to be making this type of move, but we'll see how this falls out for them.
Yeah.
I think that obviously depends how Dexter Lawrence plays in Cincy. I think that Dexter is obviously a really good player. Like, I don't think anyone can take that away. He's the best nose tackle in football. I think 10 was high. Like, I could have seen a late round first. I wouldn't have really scoffed at that. 10's high, but it is a considerably bad draft class. Like, that is something to take into account. Mm-hmm. And also, it's known and it's been said around the league that next year's first round picks are being held for ransom. Basically, like, nobody's giving up their next year's first because of how good of a class it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Which is, we'll get to that in a minute when it comes to some trade talks inside of the draft. But just for that specifically, I think Dex is a really good player. We'll see who they take at 10. I can understand it for both moves. The Bengals are in a win now mode. They're probably not going to get a blue chip player at 10. The Giants don't want Dexter anymore and want to get younger. But obviously it depends who do they pick at 10 and whether they're a good player or not.
Yeah, no, I mean, fair enough. Obviously, we all knew Dexter Lawrence was going to be on the move. Obviously, we all thought it would have been for more of a second-round pick, maybe a late first of compensation for any of those teams down in the bottom of the first round. I was not expecting a team within the top 10 to do this. Yeah. But now moving on to the NFL draft, now we're going to be doing kind of a snake version again. Chris will start it off, then Dylan, then me. I will go third. Dylan will go second, and Chris will go first. Now, obviously, like the last video, I don't need you to give too much into it, Chris. Number 1 overall pick, the Las Vegas Raiders. If you want to get into the pick, go for it.
I'm going to go with Fernando Mendoza. Not really much to get into. We did this in the first mock draft. He's pretty much a lock to go.
Yeah, fair. All right, Dylan, number 2 overall, the New York Jets.
I flip-flopped on this, man. I know we talked about it last time. I think it's between Arvell and David. I'm switching here. If we're doing what I would do, I'd pick Arvell. I think they're going to take David Bailey at 2.
David Bailey. Wow. Now 3. Now this is, and we were talking before this, how I think that this is where the draft starts to become a head scratcher of where people will go, where people will fall. I was pitching the idea of maybe going Francis Muaga from Miami, and then maybe potentially if Arvell Reese is here, you go Arvell. You could go Sonny Styles here. I mean, I think they can go practically anywhere. I know a lot of people are mentioning Jeremiah Love. Personally, I feel like they just need a lot more than just him, and I think that they could be willing to pass on that. But I think if this is how the draft is going to fall for them, and they have an opportunity to go out and get a guy like Arvell Reese, a guy on their defense, have a guy as a leader for them, I'm gonna rock with it. So I'm gonna take Arvell for the 3rd overall pick. Chris, now moving back now to the Tennessee Titans.
All right. I think Jeremiah Love is the best player on the board here. If I'm them, I mean, you could really set up your young quarterback nice with, in my opinion, the best weapon in the draft. You have, I think for me, it comes down to Ruben Bain or Jeremiah Love. And I'm going to go with Jeremiah Love. because I just think that if I'm the GM and I'm drafting, I'm giving my young quarterback the stud weapon, and I mean you can't really go wrong with that. I'm gonna go with Jeremiah Love.
Fair. Now, Dylan, one of the Giants' first round picks.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're sprinting to the board here. I think you're taking Sonny Styles, and you're just cool with that. Obviously, athletic freak. You have a really good defensive line already. Getting a really, really talented backer to play behind would be nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Sonny Styles. The Cleveland Browns. Ew. Why did I do this? Sucks, bro. This is like a weird team to even pick in general.
I feel like the board felt good for Cleveland, though.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you could go multiple different ways here. I mean, you could go Carnell Tate like we did last time. We could take him at wide receiver. We could go tackle here, maybe go get Francis or go get Monroe Freeling. I'm going to take more of the different route. I'm going to go and select Monroe Freeling. I've seen a lot of mock drafts saying that he could go. He could potentially go here. Has the ideal size for it too, and I think they're going to run it back with Shador one more year, but just try to build, I guess, throughout that whole line to make sure that the next guy they bring in next year, because I'm assuming they're going to go quarterback next year, because I don't think that they're going to be picking outside of the top 10 at all. So I think they're just kind of just bank on protecting Shador and protecting the future guy that goes in for them. So I'm going to kind of go with the wild card pick. I'm going to take Monroe Freeling. Back to Chris.
All right, so with this pick, it comes down to 3 players: Caleb Downs, Mansour Delane, and Carnell Tate. I think going with the Commanders, if we're going off of what I think is going to be correct, I think that they like Carnell Tate and Caleb Downs the best out of this 3, and I think that Caleb Downs is simply the better player than Carnell Tate. So I'm going to pick Caleb Downs with this 7th pick overall for the Washington Commanders, and I'd be very excited with this pick.
Fair. Dylan, the New Orleans Saints.
I think this comes down between, honestly, board felt pretty good for them at 8. I think this would come down to between Tate, Delane, and Bain. I would be really, really tempted to take Bain here since Cam Jordan left, but I think you keep the LSU boy in New Orleans, and I think you take Delane at 8 since they did lose Alontae Taylor in free agency.
Shoot, not bad. Now going down to the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, they're a team that's a wounded team right now with a lot of big holes going into next season. Obviously, you still have Patrick Mahomes, which is nice. I'm gonna just go still kind of what we did in the last video. I'm gonna stick to Ruben Bain here. I still think you need to get aggressive pass rush. I think you need to get somebody who's gonna try to get you consistent pass rush. I feel like that's something that they've lacked. Having really good pass rush. Obviously, their interior wise has been really good, but just to pair somebody up with George Karlaftis, you get a nice little young duo for the next 5 to 7 years in the NFL together. And plus, Ruben's a dog, and I really like this pick still, even from after the first video. So I'm going to select Ruben Bain Jr. Now, Chris, the the New York Giants.
I think this felt really nice for them. If you were able to get Sonny Styles and Carnell Tate, that's a very good first day for the Giants. I would be very upset. This is one of the scenarios that I'm scared of. I think another thing you could think about is them needing a guard, Francis Magua or Ovego Owane here would not surprise me. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna go with Carnell Tate if this was to fall like this.
All right, bet Carnell Tate. Dylan, the Miami Dolphins.
It's bad, man.
Remember, Tyson's still down there somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. I just think he's not going to fit what they're going to want to build there. I'm going to take a bit of a shocker here, I think. I'm going to reach a little bit because they really need it. I'm going to take Jermod McCoy.
Okay.
Obviously, he's coming off a ACL injury, but I think some teams are going to value him really high as arguably one of the best, if not the best corner in the draft. I like Delane a lot. I'm just saying I think there might be some teams that look at McCoy like that. And then I think that Miami obviously really needs corners, and I think you're just taking best player available here, and I think it's probably McCoy if he's healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. So sticking with the first video pick still, because I think I took Jamad last time as well. Now going out of the Dallas Cowboys. Honestly, if anything defense, you walk out of here happy if you're Dallas, obviously with this pick here or the pick 20 as well. Personally speaking, I do like CJ Allen here. It's a bit of a reach. I would have taken Jermon McCoy here if you would have gone somewhere else. But man, as of right now, I just don't know if I. Jesus Christ, this draft is just embarrassing. I'm gonna stick with CJ Allen. It could be a potential reach here, but I do like him as a linebacker. He's an absolute dog. Got great speed, great athleticism. I'm just gonna rock with Allen here, and they'll get a nice young linebacker here at 12. Back up to now, Chris with the 13th overall pick in the Los Angeles Rams.
All right, so we got the Rams. They got wide receiver, tackle, and guard. I mean, you could, but I'm gonna go them adding another receiver. I think Makai or Jordan Tyson would be nice, but I could see Makai Lemon. I just feel like Makai's Lemon. I've seen Makai Lemon linked to them more than Jordan Tyson, maybe due to injury. So I'm gonna go with Makai Lemon on this one.
Fair. The Baltimore Ravens, Dylan.
Yeah, I think you're pumped if you're Baltimore, man. I'm running to the podium and taking Jordan Tyson. The idea of pairing Jordan Tyson up with Lamar in that new Baltimore scheme, and not having to move for him, like there's we're looking back on this, and it's similar to that Justin Jefferson conversation where we're like, how did this dude not go top 5?
Yeah.
And you're landing him at, what is that, 15, 14?
Yeah, 14.
So yeah, Jordan Tyson with Lamar, that's amazing.
All right, now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I feel like this was a team that last year offensively really was going through these dry slumps of they were either they were a top 5 offense or they were a bottom 10 offense last year. And I think a lot maybe had to do with some play calling. But I feel like they kind of struggled to move the ball a little bit towards the end of the year, which is maybe one of the reasons why they missed out on the playoffs. You could go a lot of ways here. You could go the guard out of Penn State. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. I'm just going to butcher it. Olivega, I'll just say that, and or you can go Kenyon Sadiq here. I feel like you can go 1A, 1.
Came up with some shit, bro.
Yeah, bro. I don't care, bro. You can go 1A, 1B here. Personally, I think you want to make sure you can protect Baker. I know you want to sign him to an extension. You want to probably protect him as much as possible and get him as much protection as you can. I'm just going to take the guard out of Penn State here. I like this pickup for them, and hopefully that'll give Baker a little more time instead of him having to kind of make these indecisive decisions down the stretch of the year. Now, Chris, the Jets.
All right, so we got the Jets. Okay. I think here it will be a reach, but I wouldn't be surprised. I've seen a lot of reports that teams like Omar Cooper Jr. I think Omar Cooper Jr. is a good player, and while I do think it's a reach, I don't think it's like completely out the ordinary that he could go here. I would pick Omar Cooper Jr. here. He's the best receiver available, and they need a receiver to go inside Garrett Wilson. So
fair.
Whoever's at quarterback.
All right, Dylan, the Lions.
Yeah, I think you're going to take Francis Magua here, or Maunoa, not Magua, Maunoa. I've seen him called like CC and stuff. We'll see what he's actually called on draft night. But I think you're expecting him to kick into guard, but you can probably afford in Detroit to let him play tackle for a minute and see. Obviously, he's not going to play right. Maybe you can play him at left, but I think he's just going to kick in to guard pretty quickly in Detroit. I think when Detroit was really, really, really good, probably 2 or 3 years ago, is because that offensive line was just probably the best in the league. And I think you want to get back to that. And obviously you have Panay on the one side, and the offensive line's kind of gotten riddled with injuries and age and stuff like that. But I think you're very, very happy to probably land the best offensive lineman in the draft at 17.
Yeah, I mean, if the board fell to them like this, because I feel like if the Cardinals don't take him at 3, I don't see where he goes until this later round.
I mean, I think he's going to go higher than 17.
You think so?
He's a good player, dude.
I know. I'm not arguing if he's a good player or not. I just don't know if a team if they need to run to the podium if he's on the board, if that makes sense.
I think he would. I don't think he gets past 15. Honestly, I mean, at 17, I think is where he'd stop. But I mean, I could even see legit like the Giants at 10 taking him if they don't take him at 5. Like, I know that sounds crazy to trade up for offensive lineman, but like John Harbaugh wants to run the ball. And that offensive line could really use a really solidified offensive guard because they just re-signed Evan Neal for some reason.
He's
and they
awful.
need to fix what they did with Evan Neal, and that is a starting offensive guard that they may draft at 5, but I think 10 is really likely.
Yeah, no, I mean, you could go many different ways with this for them, for his positioning in the draft and whatnot. I know he's obviously, like you said, best tackle in the draft. You know, where he goes.
Best offensive lineman in the draft. I don't know if I'd call him a tackle.
Oh, okay. Well, then fair enough. But now moving on to 18, the Minnesota Vikings. Now, for the way that this draft fell to them, it's not bad. You can kind of fill holes in where you needed to. I'm just going to stick with it because I know that DB room needs some form of help. Now, I want to ask the two of you because we didn't pick this guy in the last video. He did not even go in the first round, but he's mocked to potentially go in the first round. Why didn't any of you guys take Peter Woods last time? Or did he just fall completely out of the top 15, top 20?
I think he fell out of the first. But I mean, if he does fall, it's going to be because his production last year was significantly worse than the year before.
Yeah.
I do think he's going to go higher than he's going to go in the first. I think he's going to be kind of a shocker pick where some team like the top 20 picks him and we're like, what the hell?
Could this be the
production in 2023 was really good. Huh?
Could this be the pick here where they go Peter Woods?
It's possible. I mean, I think he's going to go higher than we're thinking. Like his production, his best year of college football was really, really good production.
See, and I was thinking, and I was considering taking him or Dylan Thieneman here, but I really do think, because I know they don't have Jonathan Allen anymore, and I don't know, yeah. And I think Hargrave, he's not on the team anymore either, right? I don't think Javon Hargrave even plays for them anymore on the Vikings.
I think he still does, but they're having issues across the defensive line, so I get why you're saying this.
I think he did get cut.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna take Peter Woods. I know it's gonna be, it might be a crazy pick. I don't know, but I'm gonna take him. I think you got to go with interior defensive line, and because I think with what they have Grenard, who Grenard requested a trade. They don't have Allen. I don't know what happened with Hargrave, and then that whole thing is a mess. So you might as well just build it back up somehow. So I'm gonna take Peter Woods with this pick.
Yep.
All right, Chris, the Carolina Panthers.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give Bryce Young another young weapon. Ken Sadiq, I think he's gonna turn out to be one of the best young tight ends in the football in the league. And yeah.
Dylan, the Dallas Cowboys, after selecting C.J. Allen at pick 12.
I can't believe you took them with an inside linebacker at 12, dude. That's crazy. That's a crazy pick, dude. God.
I don't know who else in here we could have given them anybody.
Dude, I think they would have taken almost every single player that went after that before. CJ Allen's maybe there at like 40, dude.
I mean,
it's fine. God damn it, Nico. Now you put me in a bad position, bro. Because I have to try to address a need, but
I'll put up.
I'm not taking a single one of these damn corners in the top 20, dude.
Because you would have taken C.J. Allen here, most likely.
No, C.J. Allen's like a late first guy for me. I'm gonna take Dylan Thiemann here. I think you need to add to your defense. He's a really good safety. Like if Caleb Downs isn't in this, we'd probably be talking about Dylan Thiemann a little bit differently, or Thieneman. He does have really good tape. He's a big guy too. I think it's a bit of a reach, but it's fine. I don't like any of the edge guys here. I was really thinking about making a bit of a shocker with Akeem Mesidor at 20, because his production's off the roof. Kedrick Falk is interesting, but I don't think he fits what Dallas wants as an edge rusher. You can go back to Micah and some of the guys they've signed since then with Clowney and stuff like that. And they weren't these massive kind of edge setting guys. So I'm tempted with Mesidor, but I think Dylan's going to be a higher rated guy on the board.
Yeah, fair. Now moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh goodness, Jesus, this is awful. All right, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I personally, I don't know what you do here. I feel like you could go in multiple directions for them. I almost am tempted to just see who's here. Oh no, no. I think you need to play the world if Rodgers comes back, which in hindsight he may. Broderick Jones is their right tackle, right? I'm assuming. I believe he is, and he's not very good. I know that for a fact. He's pretty bad. I
He's
could
been
just
okay. Yeah.
I mean, would you take Spencer Fano here and then maybe move Broderick Jones over if you had the opportunity to do so? Maybe. I was thinking about maybe going offensive, not offensive line, maybe going like an offensive weapon or whatnot. But I'm gonna stick.
Oh,
Okay. I
to
thought
the
it
off.
was me.
Oh no! All right, we good.
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Okay, I'm gonna stick with Spencer for now. Just go to
All right.
protect him as much as you can, and yeah. The Chargers, Chris.
yeah, I was gonna take Spencer for no and try to kick him in there at guard. But I'm gonna go with King Messador.
Damn it, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take a King Messador here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Dude,
Eagles.
I thought he was the perfect Jalen Phillips replacement. Like I was like locking in Messidor at their Eagles pick. Um, there's some interesting guys here. Like I think Kedrick Falk would be interesting in Philadelphia because of the size of that defensive line, and they've taken somebody somewhat similar to Jordan Davis just with like the size comparison. But I cannot imagine you're going to trot out Jordan Davis and Kedrick Falk at the same time. Like I feel like you're just going to get hit with screen passes and just make them run vertical because they're massive dudes.
Right.
I'm going to take McNeil Warren, the safety out of Toledo. I've actually watched a lot more on him the past week or so since we did our last draft. The dude's really good. Like he's a big safety. He's really rangy. I think if he played at like a Big Ten or SEC school, we'd be talking about him a bit differently. He's a really, really good safety. He plays really physical in the run game. He hits really well out of the backfield, and he has really good instincts in zone coverage. I think his man coverage will be interesting in the NFL, how it'll translate. But I'm taking McNeil Warren here, and I think you're pretty happy. You need to replace C.J. Gardner-Johnson for a while now. I think he might actually be back, or he's always on different teams, dude. But they've needed a really dynamic, hard-hitting safety for a few years now, and I think it helped their secondary a lot.
Yeah. No, I think we had him in the last draft as well. Emmanuel McNeil Warren going to the
He went
Eagles.
in the first, but I don't know who he went to.
Yeah. This pick, I'm not going to really get on it too much. I'm going to take KC Concepcion. I'm going to kind of stick with what we did last time. I like Dylan said in the last video. I mean, there's wide receiver 2 is Isaiah Bond. Like you got to give Shador something at the receiver position, and I'm going to just roll with KC Concepcion to go to the Browns.
Interesting.
And now Chris, the Chicago Bears.
All right. I think I'm gonna go Keldrick Falk with the opinion. I mean, you got Keldrick Falk. They can afford for this pick not to be, outstanding year one. I think they could use some help in the defensive line room. I think that they played better last season on the defensive line. Like Montez Sweat had a better season, and I think he can play on the side of Montez Sweat. And at the very least, he's going to be a great running stuffer in year one.
Yeah.
Not great, but he's going to be very good.
Yeah. Dylan, the Buffalo Bills.
Dude, Chris took the guy I was going to take with the next pick, bro. Like, I'm stuck between a few guys here. Part of me thinks Buffalo obviously desperately needs receivers, and I'm intrigued weirdly by Denzel Boston in Buffalo or Chris Bell. I think there's PTSD though, because Denzel Boston, like Chris said last episode, has a bit of Keon Coleman to him, where it's like, how will these jump balls translate? Now, Denzel Boston's like 3 inches taller than Keon Coleman, I think. Like Keon Coleman came in at 6'2", Denzel Boston's like 6'5". But I'm not. I'm really tempted, but I think you can like wait. I don't think the drop off from Denzel Boston to Chris Brazzell, who you might be able to trade up for in the second round, is that significant, right? I think like after Omar Cooper, probably the drop off is pretty big, and then you're probably around that territory. I'm gonna take a bit of a shot here because I think it'd be helpful. I'm gonna take Cassius Howell, the edge rusher out of Texas A&M. There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna take Cassius Howell. Obviously, I talked about it last episode. He has the shortest arm length ever recorded in combine history, but he's a really twitchy edge defender. He's really, really good on third down. And I think what you've seen Buffalo lack over the last few years is a really talented edge rusher to go get these quarterbacks on third down. And I think if you could really get a stud pass rusher like Kadris Howell may be in the NFL, even though he has short arms. He reminds me a lot of like Nick Bonito when he came out, who's now on the Broncos, obviously. So I'm going to take Kadris Howell, a bit of a swing, but it's a high upside pick, and I think Buffalo can take the risk.
Yeah, fair. Now, the 49ers, I think here you can obviously, if you're them, you go anybody with depth that can be healthy and you can plug them in and wherever. Shanahan's pretty good on that. So I see now personally, I now the Trent Williams situation isn't fully resolved yet, is it?
What you said?
No. Yeah, the Trent Williams situation, is he still holding out, like released?
I think he's going to play.
He's going to play? Okay, fair.
He does this every single offseason too.
Oh, he does?
Yes.
I need to get more familiar with who's the right tackle on the freaking 49ers, because I'm struggling.
Isn't it still McGlinchey?
No, he's on the Broncos now.
Oh, is he?
I
don't know what the right tackle is for.
I don't know either, but I mean, wouldn't hate the idea. Go get Blake Miller, slap him in at right tackle if you're tackle needy, I guess. This is kind of a weird spot for them, and it just really doesn't fall for them that well. So I'm just gonna go with Blake Miller, give him a tackle, protect Brock Purdy. Chris, the Houston Texans.
Go to guard right quick. It's probably nothing there, but
nope.
Yep, absolutely nothing. I could see Caden McDonald. I mean, they defensive line already got a lot. I'm just running out of options here.
They did lose Tim. They did lose. I'm not saying this is significant, but they did lose Tim Settle, who gave them good reps. So
yeah, I did. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Caden McDonald. I think he's a great player. He's gonna fill in with the run stuff very well in the NFL and just shore up that D line even more, make a strength even stronger.
Yeah. Dylan, the Kansas City Chiefs, after selecting Reuben Bain Jr. with the 9th overall pick.
Okay. I'll say too, I'm shocked Nico at 27. I like, obviously you took Blake Miller. I would have really thought about Caden Proctor if you're taking tackle. I think he's obviously a little bit less developed, but I think the thought of Caden Proctor being maybe Trent Williams' kind of understudy for a year or two, and then trying to push him basically to do the exact same thing Trent Williams does, because he's like the same size, is interesting. Because you can kind of take a backup left tackle at 27 if you're going to develop him. But anyway, I'm going to take a bit of a weird one here. I think they're going to go receiver if they don't do it at 9. I'm tempted for Denzel Boston, but I'm going to take Chris Bell out of Louisville. Before he was hurt, his tape was really, really, really good. I think if Chris Bell is healthy, we're talking about him maybe more in that Omar Cooper range, maybe like a little bit less than Omar Cooper. And I think that Kansas City has shown they don't really care about injuries with these guys, and it's worked out for them. And I think on the field, he's a better receiver than Denzel Boston.
Fair. Chris Bell. Now the Miami Dolphins, I don't remember who Dylan selected, Jermod McCoy with them. I'm going to give him receiver. I think we did this last time too, where we gave him Denzel Boston. I mean, they have nobody on the outside. I mean, they have really nobody in general. They just have a ton of scrubs right now. But I'm going to give them Denzel Boston. I think you just got to go. You got to just start off somewhere, get somebody on the outside, good blocker, just kind of run and just throw him somewhere, get him involved as much as you can. He'll probably have a high production rate his first year if this happens. He goes to Miami. But I'm going to just select Denzel. Now, Chris with the New England Patriots. Last time we selected Caden Proctor.
Again, this is a team where they could afford their first round pick, not really giving them much year one. They're not going to be just a terrible team. Shouldn't be a terrible team because their first round pick ain't given what they should give in the first year. I like TJ Parker after they lost guys like Caleb and Chason to be like a rotational edge rusher in the first year. But I'm gonna go with Caden Proctor actually, with the reasoning that we gave last mock draft. With you could maybe kick Will Campbell inside at guard. If that's not going as you plan, you kind of give them a type of competition thing in training camp. I'm gonna go with the big Caden Proctor. I like him as a project.
All right, cool. And Dylan with the last pick, the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, which I believe last time We gave them. It was Chris Johnson.
They're in a happier state now, man.
Oh yeah, now you have Avion Terrell on the board, TJ Parker,
Colton Hood as well. Yeah. I'm gonna go with. Avion Terrell out of Clemson. I think you obviously have a stud corner in Witherspoon. I think God, why am I blanking on his name? What's the other corner that was really hyped up for a year and then fell
Tariq
off?
Woolen.
Tariq Woolen. Obviously, that experiment didn't go the way that we thought it would after year one. I think after year one, we're like, oh shit, like is Tariq Woolen about to be like a top 10 corner they got in the 5th round or something?
Yeah.
And now he's fallen off a cliff.
Mhm.
So I think landing one of the better corners in the class, one of the few guys I think you can trot out day one and start at 32 is great.
Yeah. No, and
Don't know what happened to Chris.
yeah, and then Chris was eliminated. But appreciate you guys all for watching. We will be live on Thursday for the NFL draft starting at 7 p.m. Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. We will be making sure we're going through picks 1 through 20 because I will not be sitting here for 3.5 hours going
Damn,
to
we're
all
gonna
the way.
skip after 20, bro.
Dude, oh no, we've came to the consensus agreement that after 20, we are done after 20. But yeah, man, thank you guys all. Thank you for Dylan for making his occasional once a year draft reappearance.
Dude, I'll be here for the draft every year. All right,
Yeah,
I can make that.
Yeah, he'll be here for the draft every year.
When we're 1-6, I won't be here.
No, probably not. But now Commander Chris joining again. But I appreciate you guys all for watching and have a great night. We'll see you guys on Thursday.